How to run your photography business in 2024. That's the question I'm going to ask in part 4 of Matthew Rycraft's Business Academy with Professional Photo. So be under no illusion, it's very hard running a business, let alone a photography business. You have to become a business person that can look after everything. You are the salesperson, you are the customer service advisor, you are your accountant, you are your marketing department. And that's just a small handful of skills that you have to have running a business. But there are some fundamentals that you need to start with to make sure that the idea or your career path is going to be successful. Things like how you're going to grow the business. What is your photography's niche? The area of photography that you're going to enter. Have you done any market research of competitors? Have you done any financial calculations? Is it profitable? How much money do you need to make? And have you looked at pricing? What are you going to charge? How much do you need to charge to actually earn money, to make the business profitable, to make it worthwhile doing? And I'm also going to cover some common questions that I've been asked over my 5 years teaching other wedding photographers. And at the end, I'll go through some I wish I knew questions, those things that I wish I knew when I started. And hopefully that'll help you on your journey. So let's get stuck into the most important thing. Where is this business going to come from? How are you going to build this business? Now, I have covered some of this in part 1 of the Business Academy with Matthew Rycraft. So when building your business, you need to be thinking about where's the business going to come from? What does your brand look like? What does your brand feel like? And this question runs into what niche are you going to enter? Wedding photography, pet photography, headshot photography, commercial, food. The list is relatively endless. But by deciding what niche and what area you want to photograph, what you want to photograph, how you're going to make money, where are you making that money from, you can maybe start to think about your brand and how your brand is going to affect the type of business that you're going to get. And this should be the start of the business plan that you're going to create. It's important that you map out the areas that we're going to discuss next. Write them down, put them on paper. Really start to think about what your brand and your business looks like. And these questions are the starting point of the business plan that you should be creating. It doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be 20 pages. It can be just 1 page, but jot down these ideas we're going to talk about now. It'll be really helpful for you. And it'll also help you justify whether or not this is a good idea or not. And whenever you write anything down, there's always more things that pour out of your brain that you never thought about. One of the next steps is market research. Is there a demand for what you want to do? Is there a demand for that type of photography? And is it practical to enter that genre? How easy is it to get access to? How long is it going to take? Who are your customers going to be? The next important aspect that you need to consider is finances. Can you actually make a living from this chosen area of photography you want to get into? What's the profitability going to be like? How much are your competitors charging? And this should have come out of the market research that you just conducted. Do you want to make a full-time career from this? Do you want to make full-time money? Do you want to replace your current wage? Or is it just supplementary income? Is it just a hobby that you can make a few pounds from that maybe will cover your cost of equipment? And hopefully what will come out of you understanding the finances is how much you want to charge. What are you worth? What do you need to charge to make a living out of? Or what do you need to charge just to have supplementary income to maybe cover the cost of equipment or maybe 2 or 3 holidays a year? And then you should be thinking about the cost of your equipment, memberships, subscriptions, legal fees, marketing, website development, insurance, accountant fees, and the cost of outsourcing anything. So as you can see, there's some really important things that you need to decide on before really jumping the gun and setting the business up. So be under no illusion, it's very difficult to run a photography business, but you really need to start with the fundamentals, write down those areas that I've talked about, build a little business plan, make some notes, do some calculations. And it takes years to build a brand. It takes years to build a business. It's not going to happen overnight, especially with photography. Photography is a long-term game business. You don't just find a product and sell it the next day on Amazon or an online e-commerce website. You have to build trust, brand. For long-term success, this is best practice. And I covered branding in part 2 of the Business Academy, so you should really check that video out. So let's cover some common questions that I've been asked over the years. Is photography a good career? Well, yes, it can be. If you put the legwork in and you build a plan like I've just discussed, you can make a good living out of it. The reality of it is, will you ever become a millionaire? It's unlikely, because what you're selling is your time. You might sell wedding albums or wall arts or prints. People are buying you and your time and your expertise. Can you earn decent money from photography? Yes, you can, but you have to have that long-term goal. It doesn't happen overnight. Most photographers always start out charging a low price. And as you get more experience and your work gets better and you get more credible, you should be, and more than likely will, just up your price. Unless you build an incredible portfolio first and then hit the market with your amazing work and a price that suits the quality of work and the service that you deliver. Is it enjoyable? Absolutely. Meeting new people all the time, creating pictures, creating art. And what's it like being self-employed and running a business? Well, being self-employed has its perks. You have the flexibility to work whenever you want. And photography is very much like that because you can pick and choose when you want to do gigs or commercial work, let's say. You can do it over the weekend. You can do it through the week, in the evening. Let's say food shoots, for instance. Food shoots could be done anytime during the daytime. So if you want complete flexibility with the hours that you work, I think photography is a perfect job to allow you that flexibility. And do you need any qualifications? No, not at all. I went to Southport College and did an NVQ. I've also got a GCSE in photography and worked in a photo lab. But that really isn't necessary. People that have got a really good eye for photography, that can create good artwork, can become a photographer. And it's actually a very easy business to just set up from nothing. All you need is equipment, some motivation, and some determination. So what would I do if I was starting my photography all over again? Well, I'd start by building a portfolio. I'd go and do some training courses. I'd network with other like-minded people or other people in the photography industry and practice loads. Just get out and shoot. The more you shoot, the more you'll learn. And then I'd spend lots of time networking, building relationships, contacting agencies, website designers, trying to find businesses and people that have access to the clients or the work that I want to do. And I'd spend a lot of time doing this. And again, I would build a plan, list all the people you want to contact and just crack on. And then I'd put a huge amount of time into marketing. I use my 3 Ps. Promote, promote, promote. Always be selling yourself. Always be talking about what you're doing and what you're producing. Showing people the style shoots that you've just done, the practice shoots you've completed. Give yourself some tasks. Find some projects to photograph so you can build that portfolio, so you can show off how creative and how good your work is. Post them all over social media. Make sure your website is absolutely on point. Show off your best pictures. And again, I produced an amazing video on how to market your photography business. Check out part 1 of the Business Academy. So make sure you get out there and promote yourselves. One of the biggest failures I see with new photographers is posting the wrong type of content, posting poor quality pictures because they haven't got any content to post. So they just post what they've maybe taken recently and not posting regularly enough, not committing to it. And this is why I've said it's really important for you to build that portfolio. You need images to market yourself with, but wait until the pictures are good enough for you to post. Don't post for the sake of it. Start building that brand, build quality, even offer your services for free just to get some work, to get some experience. It's not something I heavily promote, doing work for free. But if you need to start building a portfolio, you need to get out there, you need to experience it in the real world, then what's stopping you? Even if you just charge £50 or £100 or wherever it is, a nominal figure for the cost of delivering that service, just so you've got some gigs under the books. Posting a few pictures here and there on social media isn't going to knock the door down for business. You need to get out there and find your customers. It's time consuming, but set your objectives. Maybe how many shoots you want to shoot that month or that quarter. So hopefully there's enough ideas there for you to start building this plan. Like I said, it doesn't have to be humongous. It can just be 1 page, but really start thinking about where the business is coming from, what niche of photography you want to get into, how much you're going to charge, can you make a living from it, how many shoots do you need to do to maybe replace your current income. And I want to end on some of the things that I wish I knew when I started out. Number 1, you don't have to have the latest kit. Don't go out and buy the most expensive kit you can find. Make sure it's a professional standard. Make sure it's fit for purpose for what you want to photograph, but it doesn't have to be the latest kit. It doesn't have to be the latest lens. And don't go out buying 5 or 10 lenses. You don't need that many. 2 or 3 is enough to shoot most gigs. When you're starting out, focus on the image aesthetics. Don't worry about getting the editing 100% perfect, the exposure just right, or blown out highlights. Concentrate on telling a story in your photograph. Everything else will come with experience. And 3, outsource tasks. You can't do everything yourself. And don't be afraid to give some of the creativity or some of the workload to someone else. I use a website called Fiverr an awful lot to do medial tasks like SEO and building backlinks from a website. Don't do it all yourself. You don't need to. And 4, do what you love. Photograph what you love. If you photograph something that you're passionate about, it will be amazing. And finally, build relationships early. There is nothing better for business growth than building relationships early. So I hope this has given you some really good ideas and some inspiration on how to run your photography business in 2024. And as always, if you need any help or advice, feel free to reach out whenever you want. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.